just unbelievable.
Hello and welcome. This is Bon, and today we're going to talk about what I think are the 3 best racing games you can get for console: Assetto Corsa, Gran Turismo, and Project Cars. There are many aspects to these games that are good, but today I'm going to look at the overall driving physics. There are 3 main categories that I'll be looking at and rating: the tire model, the car model, which I'll be considering the force feedback, the tire model, etc., and then there's the sheer thrill of driving the car at super speeds around the track. Now this last aspect is very important because the track I'll be driving around is the malicious Nürburgring. This track's extremely narrow, fast, and full of unforgiving walls. To tackle this track, we'll need a very capable car. This car is the Mercedes-AMG GT3, which also happens to be in all 3 games. Now today, sit back and enjoy, and I'll first start with Project Cars. I'll also be sure to leave all commentary for the end of the lap. Now, the first thought through anyone's head who plays this game is how good it looks. I mean, you could even see that flame there. It looked really good. And the lighting's just brilliant, and everything's awesome about the graphics. And that's about where it ends, I have to sadly say. And I don't mean to bash the game here, but the physics, I am not super impressed, actually. And the lap time I got is even slower than a real-life GT3 car, which, I mean, they're have to struggle with the fact that the track's really scary and they're doing 170 going into a corner and hoping not to hit a wall that quickly. Yeah, when you're playing a video game, you're not worried about that, so your lap time should be faster, if anything, when playing the game, not slower, especially around this track. I mean, around other tracks, maybe that factor might not be as big. Your lap time should be a lot closer around most other tracks, but this track, your lap times should be faster on the game, simply because, yeah, and they're, like, a lot slower. I mean, I think, again, I'm not really 100% sure what a good GT3 time is, but in the 650s-ish. This got a 719, which I can tell you right now, that's slower than a Lexus LF8 Nürburgring package, which is a road car without full slicks on it. This car has full slicks on it, high downforce. It should be a lot faster than 720. And I think part of the issue it was kind of the force feedback, which is not terrible, but I could just not tell what the front tires were doing that well. The tire model was really not great. And people have complained in this game it's hard to drift, which that has something to do with it. But in this case, it was more the front tires. I couldn't tell how much they were gripping sometimes. Like, sometimes I felt like I had a lot of grip. Sometimes I felt like I didn't have much grip at all. I mean, the physics are still good, but sometimes I have trouble feeling what the car's doing exactly. I know it is just a video game, and you're not going to get the G-force feel you do in a real car, but it could still be better. I'll just say that. I guess we're just going to have to wait for Project Cars 2, and hopefully that'll be better and a little more comparable to maybe the other two games we have lined up. So here we are in GT Sport Beta, and I know what everyone's going to say. Well, it's a beta, and it's not a complete game. And I am fully aware of that, and we'll take this into consideration when looking over the physics model. So let's get started now. So, as good as the game looks graphically, it drives even better. The feeling of grip in the front was superb, and the car had far more aero grip than on Project Cars. Despite the fact I was racing on hard tires, the lap time was still a 6:56.8, which is far more believable and far faster than it was on Project Cars. This lap obviously wasn't the all-out fastest lap you're ever going to perform on this game, but I think it's still far more believable than the one on Project Cars. The track model is also far more believable, being closer to an actual laser scan copy of the track with all the bumps and everything. This game might be better than Project Cars, but it still has its own problems. I think the driver actually has too much confidence in this game, and the track is too smooth for the green hell. You also have to consider the fact that the game is still a beta and things will still be better in the final copy, but the question is by how much? And I can answer that by saying I think they definitely will be better. But we still have one more game lined up, and that game is Assetto Corsa. Despite overheating the tires on multiple occasions and even leaving the track at one point, I still managed a 655.8, which is 1 second quicker than the car on GT Sport. It was far more edgy and there was less confidence, but I think that was more the setup than anything. In my opinion, the game has the most capable physics model, doing the best job modeling bumps and downforce and making it very difficult to lap the Nürburgring. The thing about this game I like the most, though, is the fact that it is only challenging when you push the car its last tenth. It's actually very easy most of the time, and I find I don't crash as much on this game as I do the other two aforementioned games. I also have to mention that this is the only laser scan track in this test, and it certainly shows. They couldn't have made a better Nürburgring, at least physically. The visuals have a lot to be desired, though. They don't have the same lighting or detail that they do in the other two games. But this is petty when put up against the greatness of the driving in the game, though. In conclusion, then, Assetto Corsa is the game that is the best in all three of my criteria. It has the best track model, by far the best physics model, and delivers the biggest thrill. Despite this, I really have enjoyed all three games and can highly recommend buying all of them. I also can't wait for Project Cars 2 to release and for GT Sport to become a full game. Until then, Assetto Corsa, in my opinion by the way, is still king in delivering the best driving experience. Let me know which game you like in the comments, and also be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks.